Okay, welcome back to Wandering the Wasteland. Wasteland? Westland? It's the Wasteland. The secret of Fallout is that it was never the Wasteland, it's just uninhabited. Anyway, what was I talking about? Alright, so we ended up way down here. Let's see if this actually... Okay, so there's a bunch of new places. So I guess it does sort of matter where you wander from, even though it sometimes points you way far off. Alright. You see a fading old billboard off the side of the trail that reads Roy Bean's House of Justice and Jelly Beans. This way. This away, with an arrow pointing towards a small building in the distance. You discovered a new map location, Roy Bean's House of Justice and Jelly Beans. I mean, I kind of want to click this just because it says ignore the justice and the jelly beans. Like, that's great. But let's go see what it's all about. Alright. It's Roy Bean. Possessive. Possessive S. He's not multiple beans. Roy must prefer to perform his morning ablutions outdoors. Perform some of your own. Yeah, I'll take an outdoor... Yeah. I mean, I respect that. Hold on. Let's see what... I keep forgetting. See what she has to say. Roy Bean's House of Justice and Jelly Beans. Weird. Maybe the sign's lettered wrong, and it's just meant to be just ice and jelly beans. That'd only be a tiny bit more sensible. What, you prefer warm jelly beans? Gross. I don't really see the attraction to jelly beans. You prefer licorice all sorts, like my granny? I prefer lemon drops, but it'll be jawbreakers if you compare me to your granny again. Lemon drops are great. Fuck yeah. Alright. I see a spittoon. Howdy there, pilgrim. Name's Roy Bean. Howdy, Roy. I'm Herb Wales. What do you do here? Well, when I first came to these parts, I was all about two things, dispensing justice and dispensing jelly beans. I was the biggest name in bounty hunting and candy selling anyone ever heard of. Gosh, what happened? Oh, nothing particularly tragic. Got old is all. Hung up my pistol for good. He points at the wall. He's pointing at an empty hook on the wall over a spittoon. Still sell some jelly beans from time to time, but they're out of fashion. This old place is just a jelly bean museum now. Seems like the sign out front isn't very accurate then. How do you mean? Well, if you aren't dispensing justice anymore, maybe it should just say museum. Guess you got a point. For a jelly bean museum, I sure don't see very many jelly beans. Ha! Bunch of crooks and shady characters stole them, all 3 jars. Your museum was 3 jars of jelly beans? Suppose they think I'm a soft target now that I'm retired. Oh, that sucks. I'll help you get them back. Well, now I certainly appreciate the assistance. Can't offer much in the way of reward, but I can tell you which way the first group of thieves went if you happen out that direction. You discovered a new map location. Jelly Bean Thieves Hideout. Okay, I'll go get them. Right after I fish through your spittoon. Probably for a gun. Alright. Here we go. As soon as you get near the spittoon, you can smell the overpoweringly sweet stench it exudes. Nauseatingly sweet, like the rotting corpse of a dead gummy bear. You bet your ass I'm looking inside. Garish rainbow colors swirl together in a congealing psychedelic madness. Is Roy using jelly beans as chewing tobacco? Yes. Yes, of course he is. We're talking about a bowl of jelly beans that have been sucked on, half chewed, and then spat into a brass bucket. Do you seriously want to put your hand in that swill of artificial coloring and thickened saliva? It will probably never be clean again. I've done worse with my hands. Look, I'm serious. You're about to permanently dye your hand with the swirling mishmash of all of the worst colors in the spectrum. No one will ever have a tattoo that looks as gross or stupid. Give it to me. Well, I tried. Don't ever say I didn't warn you. You plunge your hand into the spittoon and fish around for a while. Eventually you pull out a really disgusting pistol and a really disgusting hand to shoot it with. You got a perk, spittoon hand. I'm surprised it took this long for me to get it. You got an item, befouled pistol. What is spittoon hand. Oh, it's probably under character, huh? Your hand has been permanently stained by the rainbow-colored contents of a nasty spittoon. On the bright side, the hand will never suffer anything worse than that ever again. Plus 20% hot resistance, cold resistance, and sleaze resistance. That's awesome. You're actively encouraging me to stick my hand in more spittoons. I need you to understand that, if it wasn't obvious. Okay. Deal stench damage in physical. Didn't I already have a P2 sound when you shoot it? Okay, so they both deal stench damage. This one applies poison as well. Does a lot less damage. Okay. Actually, this is technically better than the... I mean, it's the same damage stat, but it gives me an additional moxie. The only question is, do I end up doing less damage? I don't know what has stench resistance. I guess we can use it for a while. I don't suppose... Right, plus 6 pistol attack damage, okay. Yeah, I don't really see a lot of reason to be buffing my melee stat. There seems to be way more resistance to melee. There's a single yellow jelly bean in this case with a sign that says Paraguayan Murder Bee Honey Jelly Bean. Very rare, 6,000 meat. What kind of lunatic would pay 6,000 meat for a single jelly bean? Not this kind, that's for sure. Well, that's only because I don't have it. Can I ask you about this jelly bean? Nope. Alright, well, I feel like going off to... hold on. I do want to talk to her first. Do you have something new to say? No. Sometimes she has new things to say when we've done with a place, so... Guess not. Let's go to the Jelly Bean Thieves hideout. Wow, it's just next door. Oh, well, I guess we're gonna get... Oh. Oh, I need a new keystone. Okay. Your transponder starts making that bleeping noise that means either treasure or a monster, and who can resist that gamble? Not you. At least not in this encounter. Anyway, your involuntary risk-taking is rewarded when you find a high-tech crate. Sadly, it is locked. So I need more El Vibrato parts to make more keystones, right? I don't feel like they've been dropping very often. I don't know if there's some other way I'm missing that's supposed to be how I am carrying more of those around. I don't know. You approach the bandit sitting around the fire. The meanest looking one speaks up. Don't know who you think you are, stranger, but you better turn yourself right around and head back the way you came, lest you want to eat lead. Well, that's not very neighborly. Take a hike, neighbor. You fellas stole a jar of jelly beans from an old man, and I aim to have them back. Oh, is that right? And just how are you planning on doing that? Yeah, we could try words. Why not? Listen, fellas, you stole a jar of candy from an old man. This is such a small, petty, sad little crime, it barely even qualifies as a crime. If this ends up on a wanted poster, you're going to be the laughingstock of the criminal community. More importantly, what would your mothers think? I'm giving you a chance to turn away from this life of crime before it's too late, and I suggest you take it, because I'm pretty sure this is not a life you're suited to. The bandits hang their heads shamefully and shuffle away. Good. Well, that was easy. Oh. Wow, okay. I guess that's a pretty big shack there. Filthy bedroll. Missing beans. Mint jelly beans. Meager food supply. Should have been robbing grocery stores. Sarsaparilla. Plum pudding. Ill-gotten goods. Length of rope, cheap whiskey, Kurt's Fits, headband. Okay, so I need the... What was the other thing I needed? A pants for them? Pretty nice bedroll. He must have stolen it from a hiker or something. The idea of a hiker in the Old West does crack me up. Sealed crate. Dynamite. Bar of soap. Cheap wine. Where are the rest of the jelly beans? A big jar of green jelly beans that are in excellent condition. Judge Roy Bean will be excited to get it back. That's only one though. I guess maybe we have to get more leads later? We were talking about the jelly bean the jelly bean thieves in the singular, as though they only got one jar, so. A shot rings out and you duck just in time to avoid your hat being ruined. A skeleton's standing in the road ahead, arms akimbo, hands just over her holster, ready for another quick draw. Oh, also she is literally on fire. I almost forgot to mention that. Reschedule? A duel? A duel, eh? Okay, well, we've missed high noon by about half an hour, but I reckon I just threw my own reckon in there. But I'll meet you back here tomorrow. The skeleton looks at her watch and grumbles, then stomps away. Phew. Alright, Roy. Here's your first jar of jelly beans back. Sure did. Well, I'll be. Thank you kindly, Herb. I won't ask for details, but I hope they were sufficiently grisly. Wow, dude. Now, the second jar of jelly beans was stolen by a passel of them weird goblin fellas. Couldn't understand a word they was saying, but they were very insistent. Which way did they go? Northwest towards that old cactus folks call Old Grandad. Here, I'll mark it on your map, but you can't miss it. Discovered a new map location, Old Grandad. Alright, well, we'll head over to Old Grandad in the next episode.